Good evening and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kamal. So far, the West Bengal administration has been trying to suggest to the people of Bengal in India that there was no cover-up involved in the RG Kar rape and murder case. Now, India Today has been able to access 3 incriminating audio calls made by the hospital administration staff to the parents of Abhaya's parents, where it is abundantly clear that an attempt was made to pass off her gruesome rape and murder as a case of suicide. We'll bring you those audio recordings and then we'll ask the tough questions about why this cover-up attempt was made in the first place and why was it denied for so long by the Trinamool. All that and more coming up on the news track tonight.
Call 1. Your daughter is unwell.
ওর শরীরটা খারাপ, আমরা ভর্তি করাচ্ছি ওকে, আপনি কি ইমিডিয়েট আসতে পারবেন?
কি হচ্ছে কি সেটা বলবেন তো।
Call 2. Your daughter admitted to emergency.
মেয়েকে আমরা এমার্জেন্সিতে নিয়ে এসেছি, আপনারা আসুন, এসে যোগাযোগ করুন।
Call 3. Probably she has died by suicide.
উনি সুসাইড করেছেন হয়তো বা কিছু মারা গেছেন। পুলিশ রয়েছেন, আমরা হসপিটালে সবার সামনেই রয়েছি, ফোন করছি।
First phone call to Abhaya's parents. Parents told she died by suicide. Why did RG Kar Hospital lie? Abhaya rape and murder cover-up?
If anyone were to see the images of Abhaya's mutilated body, it's quite clear what she'd been through. Why then did the hospital staff try and pass off her death as a case of suicide to her parents? You listen to the shock in the parents' voice, you listen to what the hospital staff are telling her. In just a moment from now, I'll bring you those tapes. Let me take you through the headlines I'm tracking tonight. West Bengal Chief Minister backtracks after giving an all-will-burn warning. Mamata Banerjee says she did not threaten doctors. BJP accuses the Bengal CM of spreading anarchy. Ex-MP Simranjeet Maan makes a disgusting remark against Kangana Ranaut, says the actor has an experience of being raped. Kangana hits back, says her voice will not be suppressed. Another Malayalam film actor accuses her co-star of groping her on a film set. 17 women have spoken out about sexual assault in Mollywood. Actor in CPIM MLA Mukesh, who's been booked for sex abuse, gets protection from arrest till the 3rd of September. VVIP Swagat for murder accused Kannada actor Darshan in Bellary prison. Starstruck cops seen rushing to shake hands with the actor. At least 28 dead, over 30,000 displaced in Gujarat floods. Roads collapse, homes flooded. Indian Navy and Army carry out rescue operation. It was 20 days ago that a 31-year-old trainee doctor was found dead at Kolkata's RG Kar Hospital. What followed were a series of lapses and botch-ups. India Today has accessed the phone calls that were made to Abhaya's parents that fateful morning. There were 3 calls made by the Assistant Superintendent of RG Kar Medical College. The conversations lasted about 2 minutes in total, but they suggest one thing, that there was an effort made to cover up Abhaya's rape and murder and present it to her parents as a case of suicide.
It's been 20 days since 31-year-old Abhaya was raped and murdered at Kolkata's RG Kar Hospital, sparking national anger over crimes against women. She had finished a 36-hour shift at the hospital, fallen asleep in the seminar room, where she was brutalized by Sanjay Roy, a Kolkata police civil volunteer, in the early hours of August the 9th. But her parents were initially told that she had died by suicide. India Today has now accessed 3 clinching phone calls that the administration of RG Kar Medical College made to Abhaya's parents on August the 9th. Phone calls that point to an alleged cover-up right at the start. The first phone call lasts 44 seconds.
ও একটু শরীরটা খারাপ হয়েছে, আপনারা কি একটু আসতে পারবেন ইমিডিয়েট?
কেন, কি হচ্ছে কি?
ওর শরীরটা খারাপ, আমরা ভর্তি করাচ্ছি ওকে, আপনি কি ইমিডিয়েট একটু আসতে পারবেন?
কি হচ্ছে কি সেটা বলবেন তো?
সেটা তো ডাক্তাররা বলবে আপনারা এলে। আমরা আমরা আপনার নাম্বারটা জোগাড় করলাম, করে জানালাম যে বাড়ির লোক হিসেবে আপনারা একটু তাড়াতাড়ি আসুন।
কি হচ্ছে সেটা বলো না তুমি।
পেশেন্ট শরীরটা খারাপ, ভর্তি হয়েছে হসপিটালে, বাকিটা আপনারা এলে ডাক্তার বলবে।
ওর কি জ্বর হয়েছে?
আপনারা একটু আসুন, জলদি চলে আসুন যত তাড়াতাড়ি পারবেন।
কেন, খুব অবস্থা খারাপ?
খুব অবস্থা খারাপ, হ্যাঁ খুব অবস্থা খারাপ, একটু তাড়াতাড়ি চলে আসুন।
The second call to Abhaya's parents lasted 47 seconds, where the RG Kar hospital administrator told them that their daughter was being admitted to the emergency ward.
কি হয়েছে কি সেটা বলো না একটু।
ওনার অবস্থা খুবই খারাপ, আপনি যতটা তাড়াতাড়ি পারবেন চলে আসুন।
কি হয়েছে না সেটা বলো না।
এটা তো ডাক্তার বলবে, আপনি একটু তাড়াতাড়ি চলে আসুন এখানে।
আপনি কে বলছেন বলুন তো?
আমি অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট সুপার বলছি, আমি ডাক্তার বলছি না।
ডাক্তার নেই হবে কেউ?
আমি সুপারিনটেন্ডেন্ট কথা বলছি। হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে।
হ্যাঁ আমি অ্যাসিস্ট্যান্ট সুপারিনটেন্ডেন্ট কথা বলছি। আপনার মেয়েকে আমরা এমার্জেন্সিতে নিয়ে এসেছি, আপনারা আসুন, এসে যোগাযোগ করুন।
The third and the final 8-second phone call from the assistant superintendent of the hospital informed the parents that their daughter had died by suicide.
উনি সুসাইড করেছেন হয়তো, বা কিছু মারা গেছেন। পুলিশ রয়েছেন, আমরা হসপিটালে সবার সামনেই রয়েছি, ফোন করছি।
Abhaya's parents have been pointing fingers at former principal of RG Kar Hospital, Dr. Sandeep Ghosh, accusing him and the medical college of a cover-up.
तो उसने हमसे बात भी नहीं किया। सारे दिन हम उधर 12 बजे से शाम 7 बजे तक था। उस टाइम में हम
The parents alleged that they were made to wait for 3 hours before they got to see the body of their daughter.
সবার প্রথম তো পুলিশের শরণাপন্ন হব। আমরা সেরকমই পুলিশের কাছেই সমস্ত আমাদের যা বক্তব্য বলছিলাম, কিন্তু পুলিশ আমাদের 3 ঘন্টা ধরে ঢুকতে দেয়নি। কেন, কি ব্যাপার সেটা তাই।
They've also claimed that their daughter's final rites were rushed.
जो क्रिमिनेशन घाट का बारे में बोलता है, श्मशान घाट के बारे में, उधर 3 बॉडी पड़ा हुआ था, लेकिन उसका पहले ही हमारा लड़की का बॉडी जला दिया गया।
The 3 calls now prove that the RG Kar Medical College did peddle the suicide theory lie. The question is, why? With Anupam Mishra in Kolkata, Bureau Report, India Today.
Anybody who's seen the body of Abhaya, the manner in which it was found, knows in a flash that this is not a case of suicide. Why then did the hospital staff try and present this as a case of suicide to her parents? Why was a deliberate effort made to mislead the parents of Abhaya, and why for so long has the West Bengal administration been in complete denial? They say that no effort was made to pass this off as a case of suicide, and that everything that could be done was done expeditiously, whereas these audio recordings very clearly expose that an effort was made to distort and to lie and to mislead the parents. I'm joined on this broadcast by Manojit Mondal, who's a Trinamool-leaning political activist. We have Guru Prakash Paswan, national spokesperson of the BJP. We have Dr. Miran Chadha Borwankar, former commissioner of police. With us on this broadcast is Nilanjana Chakrabarti, who's a well-known women's rights activist. I want to go across to Dr. Borwankar first. As a commissioner of police, when you hear the audio recording and you see the manner in which the administrative staff tells the mother that she seems to have committed suicide, the matter is that your daughter has died by suicide. At that instance, and because you've investigated so many cases, Do you think this is just something that happened in the heat of the moment because the administrative staff itself doesn't know what's happened, or do you think that this seems to very, very clearly suggest at a cover-up which is now caught in this audio recording?
While I won't think it was a cover-up, I am also unable to understand that why medical practitioners, doctors could not immediately differentiate between a suicide and a murder. So I would hold my guns and I would wait for the CBI report.
Nilanjana Chakrabarti, this is an important point that the police commissioner makes, that these are trained medical staffers. They're not random people on the road who don't know what looks like a suicide and what looks like rape and murder. And yet when they tell the parents, one way of looking at it is they're just trying to break the information to their parents and therefore they're saying what they are. The other is that they're just lying because they don't want this to explode and they're somehow hoping to cover up what happened. What do you make of this?
Rahul, I think it's very clear that obviously this is not a case of suicide. The kind of description that has been, exposed in the press, the media, and including the spokespersons who have spoken about the crime, obviously it is not a case of suicide. Anybody would be able to say that. And also the second point is that the manner in which the entire episode has transpired, the number of phone calls, 1, 2, 3, it clearly indicates that, they were totally rattled. They didn't know what to do and how to process the whole thing. At the same time, they wanted the parents to come and, quickly kind of hush up the matter and, so that it reaches a finale and saying, ye to suicide hai and stuff like that. So, obviously, there is much more than what meets the eye. And ma'am just said right now that she's waiting for the CBI report, which is very much part of the protocol. I suppose she would know better. But as a layman, as an activist, I have covered the Nirbhaya case earlier for your channel and even the Park Street rape case also earlier. And I feel that this is absolutely, it was a total mess up and a botch up.
You're calling this a mess up and a total botch up? Monojit
yes,
Mondal, you've been on this show many times and you've asked for evidence. Where is the proof of a cover-up? Where is the proof of a botch-up? Where are the lapses? Give me evidence. In these 3 audio recordings that India Today has put out, it's very clear that the RG Kar Hospital assistant superintendent is lying through her teeth when she tells the parents that this is a case of suicide. This is the evidence you wanted. This is the proof of botch-up and a lapse.
No, but then in that case, if that phone call was malicious with the motive beyond what happened, the CBI questioned that person. CBI should have taken that person into custody. The moment the case reached to the police followed the standard protocol. They went for the autopsy. And then immediately thereafter, they registered a case of murder and rape. And that happened on the same day the body was discovered, that is the 10th of August, right? And thereafter this hue and cry happened. Only thereafter. The police reached the spot by 10 a.m. The night after that horrendous incident took place, registered a case of EUD, unnatural death. Autopsy happened, police, transferred that case to rape and murder. So why lies the question of botch up and cover up? The human cry started taking place only after 10th of August. That's from 11th of August. People came to know about it when Mamtadi went to the hospital. Incidentally, Mamtadi was not in Calcutta. She was somewhere else. She came back and she went.
Nilanjana Chakrabarti wants to respond to what you're saying before I go across to the other guest. Nilanjana.
These events happened. So why no, hang on. Why did the police botch up? If the hospital authorities, any one of them, maliciously called the family and hang on, madam, please listen to me for God's sake.
Okay.
If the hospital authorities call them up with malicious intent, so hold them up. But police did their job. Police registered a case of murder and rape immediately after the autopsy report.
Okay,
No matter
Nilanjana,
what the
quick
phone calls,
interjection, then I go
whatever.
across to Guru Prakash Paswan.
Mr. Mondal, I have not spoken about the police. I am talking essentially about the first reaction that was from the RG Corps officials. I think I'm talking about botch up and mess up began right at the base. That is the RG Corps officials. I think they should have been immediately taken to task before, by the time the police came or whatever happened. But the botch up happened right at the base. The police comes in later. The second instance is the police, and that is a separate issue altogether. But my point here is that the person who called the parents should have been more compassionate, more direct, more
Absolutely.
more forthcoming,
Guru Prakash
more
Paswan,
forthcoming.
now the point that the Trinamool supporter is making is that if this assistant superintendent at the hospital did something wrong, the CBI can arrest her. Now he's basically passing the blame onto the CBI, saying, okay, so if the police didn't do anything that you've now got evidence for, which we didn't have earlier, why hasn't the CBI acted against this assistant superintendent?
It is absolutely clear that the West Bengal police did not want CBI at the first instance. It was the court. The court had to take a suo motu cognizance and had to make an intervention. It is not at all the activism of the TMC government, and TMC government at the outset, we must understand, has been complicit from the day one, right from the initial mischaracterization of the place where the crime took place. Right from the court had to say that evidence was tampered, and if anything that is validated through the phone calls that you exposed today, it is precisely this. Evidence tampering happened, and it is validated and authorized by the phone calls that has come out in the public domain today. I don't understand, Rahul. This is just beyond my comprehension. The Bengal minister, Mr. Guha, has said, "Ungli tod denge agar ungli aap mere taraf dikhayenge to." The senior leader, Mr. Chakravarti, who is a MP from the Trinamool Congress, has said that if you speak anything, you have to face the consequences. Right from the beginning, like the Kolkata High Court has said it time and again, and I quote the Kolkata High Court, that there is no rule of law in Bengal, Rahul. There is a law of ruler. This is the example of how dictatorial regimes act. Today, unfortunately, Mamta Didi, Trinamool Congress has lost all the moral legitimacy to rule in West Bengal. Rahul, going back to your phone call, the third phone call that has actually shaken my conscience and has shaken the national conscience, the third phone call when the parents were informed that it's a suicide. Did you notice the stunned silence? Did you notice the stunned silence or not? Aapki beti ka suicide hua hai, and then they had to go, and then can you imagine the reaction? Can you imagine what was going on in the minds and the thoughts of those parents? We can't. This incident is a cause of national embarrassment, and like I said, if anything, today Mamta Didi and her entire TMC that has given patronage and protection to all the criminal and the lawless elements, today she has lost all the moral legitimacy, all the moral authority to rule in the
Manojit Mandal wants to respond.
Right,
yes.
May 2nd, 2021. Last 10 seconds, Rahul. Last 10 seconds. Last 10 seconds, Rahul. Last 10 seconds, Rahul.
Yeah, you 20 more seconds, but I will answer.
Right from May 2021. Rukiye zara, Mandal ji, rukiye. Right from May 2021, when Mamta Didi and her goons said Khela Hobe, we remember the taandav of violence that was unleashed on the streets of West Bengal. We remember Sandesh Khali Rahul. We remember May 2021. We remember this, but no longer. Today, if anything has happened, today Mamta Didi, and I say it for the third time, she has lost all the moral legitimacy to stay in the
Manojit Mandal, quick interjection and response.
Yes. No, quick. You have to give me equal time to rebut. I mean, this nauseating fake news, lies industry will automatically come from a frustrated party like BJP. They could not do anything in 2021, despite that call of Abki Bar Do Par. They could not do anything in 2026, despite that
what
call
has
of
got this got to do with 2021, Rahul?
This is simple.
What has got this to do with
Mr. Paswan, let him speak. I can't have both guests speaking at the same time, one at a time. Guru Prakash Paswan, I'll come back to you in just a moment.
There is no correlation with 2021, Rahul, please.
I pity you, my dear friend. You brought up to 2021. I call you out in a moment. Since 2021 till now, You have 32 CBI NIA investigations. Oh my God. Look, it's NIA investigation. Even the two clubs are fighting with each other. You have NIA investigation. Even there is riots because of Ram Navami, you have NIA investigation. 32 CBI investigation. I want to ask humbly to the very honorable judges of Calcutta High Court, my lord, please look into what has happened to these 32 CBI cases. It is, sir, your lordship, your responsibility. 32 CBI cases.
Guru Prakash Paswan.
2021,
Rahul, this is
including this
preposterous.
one. Please look
Guru Prakash
into
Paswan.
this. Our
Rahul, this
humble
is just
appeal.
preposterous. This is just preposterous. अब सुन लीजिए, मिस्टर मंडल, सुनने की आदत डालिए. देश में लोकतंत्र है. There is democracy in India. आपके पार्टी में लोकतंत्र नहीं होगा. देश में लोकतंत्र है. सुनने की आदत डालिए अब आप. Today, what you have done, you have crossed all limits. You have crossed all मर्यादा. कोलकाता हाई कोर्ट, सुनिए जरा. No. कोलकाता हाई कोर्ट गलत है. सीबीआई गलत है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट गलत है. पीड़िता के पेरेंट्स गलत है. तो कौन सही है? Who is right then? Everyone is wrong. Everyone is malicious. Rahul, your phone call is also malicious.
Okay, I want to pause the politics for a moment as I go across to Dr. Raja Dhar, Director and Head of Department at the Department of Pulmonology at the C.K. Birla Hospital in Kolkata. Dr. Dhar, in the audio recordings that we just played out, this assistant superintendent tells the parents that this is a case of suicide. Now, leave all our lay biases aside. As a trained medical practitioner, when you see Abhaya's body lying in front of you, do you think it is possible that the superintendent mistakes this to be a case of suicide? Or does this seem to you to be a case of maliciously and deliberately misleading the parents?
So I think I just heard the word preposterous, so I think I'll use the same. I think it's preposterous that someone who's medically qualified in a hospital sees Abhaya's body and feels that it could be anything less than a murder. So I think if this was someone who was killed at home by some means, was brought to hospital, the question of not understanding would still be considered, even though I think even the state in which the body was, even that would be questionable. But within the hospital, within a seminar room of the hospital, for a medical person, a healthcare worker to say that this is suicide, I think is preposterous and irresponsible. And I don't have other adjectives, but I would add many more if I had them.
So you're calling this preposterous and irresponsible. Dr. Shreya Shaw is a resident doctor at RG Kar. This is at your hospital where this assistant superintendent is trying to pass this off as a case of suicide. Do you, like Dr. Dhar, think that this is a case of deliberately trying to mislead the parents? Or could, if you look at it from the superintendent's perspective, could it be said that she's trying to find some way of breaking this uncomfortable news to the parents? Or do you think she's deliberately trying to mislead to try and find some way of ensuring this doesn't blow up?
I'm not sure what the intention was. I'm not sure what the motive was. We are not sure what the motive was till today. But it is clearly significant that the authority was trying to hide things, and the way that the things have been presented to her parents from the very starting sounds very malicious, sounds like something was being trying to put under the covers from the time this was discovered.
No, but because you understand the working of the hospital, this assistant superintendent and the manner in which she is breaking the information, what Dr. Dhar says is anybody who's a trained medical practitioner cannot but look at the body of Abhaya and know in a flash that this is a case of murder. You cannot possibly think that this is a case of suicide. Dr. Shreya Shaw?
Yes, absolutely. So the first information was a false information. Yes, the first information that was given, the first information that came to us also, including the working doctors at the hospital at the current time, the same information was provided to us that there was a suicide. It was not just the parents, but we who are working here, we who were working here at that hour, even we got this same sequence of events that a doctor has committed suicide. And at that point, it was neither clear whether she was a female or whether he was a male or from which department. Gradually, after minutes, stories started changing, and as the stories started changing to the parents, same way the stories started changing to us. So we found it very, very malicious, and that something dangerous is still happening under the covers, and we need to take action. We need to know the truth, and we need to know what is going on and under whose supervision these false information are being circulated.
Meanwhile, the Bengal Chief Minister has triggered a political firestorm after Mamata Banerjee warned the Prime Minister that other states will burn if Bengal burns. She made these comments in the aftermath of protests that have been raging over the Abhaya rape and murder case. The BJP has accused the Bengal CM of spreading anarchy. The Bengal CM resorts by alleging that the BJP is spreading misinformation. Here's how the political war of words exploded.
The political face-off over the RG Kaur Hospital rape and murder horror escalates. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, in her biggest attack on the BJP, has warned that if Bengal burns, it will spread to other states.
মোদি বাবু আপনার পার্টিকে দিয়ে আগুন লাগাচ্ছেন মনে রাখবেন বাংলায় যদি আগুন লাগান আসামও থেমে থাকবে না নর্থ ইস্টও থেমে থাকবে না উত্তর প্রদেশও থেমে থাকবে না বিহারও থেমে থাকবে না ঝাড়খণ্ড থেমে থাকবে না উড়িষ্যাও থেমে থাকবে না আর দিল্লিও থেমে থাকবে না আপনার চেয়ারটা আমরা টলমলো করে দেব
Mamata's statement made on Wednesday provoked angry reactions from BJP chief ministers, including Himanta Biswa Sarma of Assam, N. Biren Singh of Manipur, and Mohan Majhi of Odisha, who accused her of sowing seeds of hatred across the country. The BJP, seizing the moment, sharpened its attacks.
मैं मोदी जी को गिरा सकती हूं इतना ताकतवर लीडर बंगाल का है वो सब बोल सकती है शी इज नाउ वेरी स्केयर्ड ड्यू टू मैसिव मास मूवमेंट अगेंस्ट दिस मिसरूल
बंगाल में कोई कानून नहीं रह गया है सरकार में बैठे हुए लोग वहां आतंक मचाए हुए हैं लोगों को प्रताड़ित कर रहे हैं हत्या कर रहे हैं लूट कर रहे हैं वहां सरकार नहीं चल रही है वहां तो सरकार के नाम पर गुंडागर्दी चल रही है तो ऐसे सरकार पर तो तुरंत कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए
The BJP's ally, the JDU in Bihar, has denounced Mamata's statement.
जो अफसोसजनक है निंदनात्मक है और स्वतंत्र भारत में कभी ऐसे अवसर देखने को नहीं मिले जब किसी प्रदेश का चुना हुआ मुख्यमंत्री अन्य राज्यों के अंदर भी दखल दे करके विद्रोह जैसी स्थिति पैदा करने की धमकी दे रहा।
The Congress, a national ally of the Trinamool, took a more cautious approach.
Calcutta doctors' rape has only made this issue a bigger issue now, and now everybody is turning towards it, and we are now need to concentrate on the real issue. We should be careful that we should not be dragged into the diversion politics of BJP. We should concentrate on the women's security and our daughters' security.
Mamata Banerjee on Thursday toned down her position. In a post on social media, the Chief Minister alleged the BJP, with the support of the Government of India, is threatening democracy in her state and trying to create anarchy. Mamata clarified that she never threatened protesting doctors. With Ritik Mondal in Kolkata, Bureau Report, India Today.
You know, this comment that the West Bengal Chief Minister makes, Manojit Mandal, that if West Bengal will burn, other states will burn. You know, what sort of a threat is this? I can understand that she's feeling that she's under pressure and that there is anger, but this sounds to be, you know, a very irresponsible statement from a person in a very responsible position.
Dude, I think she has clarified it today. I think she did not certainly did not talk about, burning other states. She was merely, cautioning BJP for what they were doing, even for 2 consecutive days. Yesterday and day before yesterday, they were literally trying to burn Kolkata. So many police officers were injured. One police officer is losing his eyesight. Not even talking about that. And I saw the Chief Minister of Manipur. Does he have any moral legitimacy to even talk on TV? Still his state is burning. Still people are crying for justice. I saw this man. And here you talk about, justice for women. 2 Dalit girls committed suicide in UP only yesterday. or nothing has been happening. What happened? Why did they commit suicide? If at all they were suicide, why did they commit suicide? Their parents are also alleging this is not suicide, murder. What? Why is the news? I think that the whole hog of BJP and their media lackeys have targeted Mamta Di for a very long period of time. But we are with the people of Bengal. People of Bengal trust Mamta Di. Mamta Di has got nothing to do with the common protester. She has made it amply clear. In fact, she saluted them. But the BJP's protesters, under the guise of students, the person that you are interrogating day before yesterday, he was the secretary of BJP Yuva Morcha. He was masquerading as a common student. You interrogated that person for 10 minutes. He did not speak the truth. I am telling that Mr. Lahiri, whatever his name, that Lahiri was the secretary of BJP Yuva Morcha, but he was in the guise of a common protester. We want to call them out. That was the message from Mamta.
Guru Prakash
want to call
Paswan,
them out.
this is the explanation from Mamta Banerjee that it's not really a real threat to burn states, that she's basically trying to get the BJP to ward off and to stop the BJP from burning Bengal.
Rahul, if you can even loosely translate what she said in Bangla, it translates into Assam will burn, Northeast will burn, Bihar will burn, Jharkhand will burn. We don't need any intellectual prowess to even translate what Mamta Didi has said in the public domain. Point number one. Point number two, Rahul, Bharatiya Janata Party very strongly believes. It is our firm commitment that women's security, Nari Sashakti-karan, Nari Asmita cannot be a matter of whataboutery. Did you notice the shameless whataboutery my friend from the Trinamool Congress indulged in? What about the case in Uttar Pradesh? What about the case in Jharkhand? What about the case in Delhi? Women's security, for God's sake, cannot be a matter of politics, cannot be a matter of whataboutery. How can you even have the audacity to say, when we have this incident right in the heart of West Bengal, right in the heart of Kolkata, the people from the Trinamool Congress, the people from the ruling dispensation, they have the audacity. आपकी हैसियत है ये बोलने की कि उस महिला का क्या हुआ? I can say this with all the conviction. I can say this with all the. I did not speak when you were speaking. I did not speak when you were speaking. Please learn some constitutional ethos. If anything, when Mamta Didi said
Constitution
BJP, Jharkhand will burn, why did we not hear any Congress person? Why did we not hear Congress people making an opposition to it? When Mamta Didi said Jharkhand will burn, why did no leader from Jharkhand Mukti Morcha
Dr.
came out
Borwankar,
against Mamta Didi?
You know this threat from the West Bengal Chief Minister that other states will burn if Bengal burns. What do you make of the threat and the explanation that we've heard from her since?
That all political parties try to take advantage of such unfortunate and cruel episodes and incidents. They try to embarrass each other. If they were sincere, why do we have only less than 30% conviction in rape cases? Why have they not created more posts for judges, for prosecutors, for police? I think these are crocodile tears. And these are statements made on TV. If all political parties were serious, each case of crime against women would be tried, convicted within a year. Therefore, let's not have any facade. Let's invest in criminal justice system.
You know, make no mistake, there is real, genuine anger and outrage over the Kolkata horror. Popular singer Arijit Singh has joined the fight with a new song called Aar Kobe, A Cry for Justice. Punjabi singer A.P. Dhillon has taken to Instagram to register his protest, asking if it's a crime to be born a girl.
A rape case that shook the entire nation. The one that has sparked a wave of outrage, uniting not only citizens to protest the gruesome rape and murder of a trainee doctor at a Kolkata hospital, but also singers who are stepping forward to demand justice. Arijit Singh extended his support and contributed to the movement with his Bengali song, Aar Kobe, which translates to When Will It End? The track voices a plea for justice for the victim and expresses hope that the efforts of Kolkata's residents will not be futile. In short, It is not simply a protest song. In fact, a call to action. Singer A.P. Dhillon to join the clarion call of stars demanding justice and expressed his emotions on the tragic incident amid the ongoing protest through a song. Through this heart-touching track, Dhillon expressed his thoughts on how the fate of a life-saving doctor ended so tragically. Even questioned about being born as a girl child. Even Rupam Islam in his moving song Koto, which translates to wound, expressed deep anguish and frustration over the RG Kaur rape murder incident. The lyrics of this track are a raw reflection of his and the collective pain of society over the crime and the subsequent inaction of the Kolkata government.
मैं भी बिना कुंडी लगाकर सोती, काश मैं भी लड़का होती, झल्ली बनकर दौड़ती उड़ती, सारी रात दोस्तों के साथ फिरती, काश मैं भी लड़का होती.
Earlier, Ayushmann Khurrana also took to social media and shared a heart-wrenching poetry which went viral in no time.
उसकी आंखों का मोती, काश मैं भी लड़का होती. 36 घंटे का लगातार कार्य दुश्वार हुआ, बहिष्कार हुआ, बलात्कार हुआ, पुरुष के वहशीपन से साक्षात्कार हुआ. काश उन पुरुषों में भी थोड़े से स्त्रीपन की कोमलता होती, काश मैं ही लड़का होती.
For the unversed, a 31-year-old trainee doctor was raped and murdered at RG Kaur Hospital earlier this month. The situation in Bengal remains tense, with demands for better safety and justice for women becoming louder. Entertainment Bureau, India Today.
The Hema Committee report has opened up a can of worms in the Malayalam film industry. More women actors are coming forward and speaking out about harassment and abuse. 17 women have so far accused male actors of sexual assault. Meanwhile, an FIR has been registered against CPM MLA and actor Mukesh for sexual and verbal assault.
Mollywood sex abuse gets bigger. Another actress exposes misconduct in the Malayalam film industry. Speaking exclusively with India Today, the survivor recounted the horror she faced in 2013. Without naming anyone, the actress alleged that the accused hugged her from behind without her consent. She has now filed a complaint against the assaulter with the SIT.
I filed a case against the accused person, and I give the full name and exact details and how happened. That time I am newcomer in movie industry. I don't know the exact what is happening going on. I am going alone in a shoot for a superstar movie in Thodupuzha. Now first day, and after makeup and costume change, I will go to restroom and coming back. And after that, suddenly he unexpectedly without my permission or consent, he hold me and tightly.
Meanwhile, cases have been filed against 7 individuals, including CPM MLA and actor Mukesh and superstar Jay Surya, based on a complaint by a survivor under Section 354 of the BNS, which deals with intent to outrage modesty of a woman.
ഇപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ പറയുന്നുണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു പ്രശ്നം ഉണ്ടായതിനു ശേഷം മലയാള ഫിലിം ഇൻഡസ്ട്രി തന്നെ വിട്ടു പോകേണ്ട ഒരു അവസ്ഥ. തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും. ഇപ്പോൾ അമ്മയിൽ എനിക്ക് മെമ്പർഷിപ്പ് ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ചു. അപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് അത്രയും പേർക്ക് ഞാൻ ബെഡ് ഷെയർ ചെയ്താലേ എനിക്ക് അമ്മ മെമ്പർഷിപ്പ് എനിക്ക് തരുള്ളൂ എന്ന് അവർ പറഞ്ഞു. അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞത് മുകേഷ്. അതെ അതെ, പലരും എനിക്ക് പല സന്ദർഭങ്ങളിലാണ് എനിക്ക് ഈ പ്രശ്നം ഉണ്ടായത്, ഒറ്റയടിക്കല്ല.
Union Minister Suresh Gopi, himself a superstar in the Malayalam film industry, who had backed actor Mukesh, has filed a police complaint against media personnel. They were asking him about Kerala BJP's criticism of his stance on the allegations against the actor.
Please.
Actor turned politician Khushbu Sundar wrote a long note on social media commending the women who have stood their ground against exploitation in the industry.
You know, it happens in every industry. We need a Hema committee report or this kind of a commission in every department wherever a woman works. Cinema industry is a very small industry. You have these kind of incidents happening. And that's why I say women need to speak up. If anybody is giving you an indecent proposal, a woman has to stand up for herself.
popular actor in Tamil film industry, Vishal, says Tamil Nadu Actors Association has formed a committee to ensure that any female actor who wants to file a complaint has a redressal mechanism.
Nadiga Sangam is taken a decision to form a committee and make sure that if any woman who wants to give a complaint against something, to come to an address, they need an address. The committee will look into all issues of the women in the film industry.
Another complaint has been filed against Malayalam filmmaker Ranjit. The complaint was sent to Kerala DGP via email. The complainant claimed that she was sexually harassed by director Ranjit in the garb of offering roles in movies. With Shivi Mol KG in Tiruvananthapuram, Bureau Report, India Today.
Just over 3 months after the Pune Porsche crash, the 17-year-old accused, now out on bail, has requested that his passport be returned. Earlier, his parents, who had tried to cover up the crime by swapping the blood samples of their minor son, had asked for their luxury car to be returned to them. As the teen driver and his VVIP family get back to their normal lives, what about Ashwini and Anish, the two IT professionals who were mowed down by the killer Porsche?
102 days ago, these two young engineers died a terrible death on Pune's roads. Ashwini and Anish, fatally mowed down by a speeding Porsche, driven by the drunk, underage son of a real estate tycoon. And now, just over 3 months later, with justice still far from being served, a shocking act of VIP arrogance. The 17-year-old accused, living a free life after being granted bail, has now approached the Juvenile Justice Board asking for the return of his Porsche car and passport, both seized in May as part of an ongoing police investigation. India Today has learnt that the teenager's defense lawyer Prashant Patil had submitted an application requesting the return of the passport and vehicle. Shockingly, the teenager's legal team has argued that since the boy is on bail, and since he has written the famous 300-word essay he was asked to write to secure initial bail, and since he has completed a court-ordered road safety course, hence the luxury car worth 2.5 crore rupees currently held by the police should be returned to him along with his passport. A decision on the matter was initially scheduled for this week, but due to an adjournment, the Juvenile Justice Board is now expected to issue a verdict on September the 26th. 2 months ago, after spending just a few weeks in a juvenile observation home, the Delhi High Court granted the teenager bail, shockingly noting the teenager's personal trauma in the incident. The case, brought under the national spotlight by India Today's coverage, has been an uninterrupted list of VIP actions, entitlements and manipulations of the law. From bribery to MLA muscle power to criminal switching of blood samples to the dadagiri of a powerful family. The application for the return of the teenager's Porsche and passport is only the latest slap in the face of the quest for justice. With Omkar Wable in Pune, Bureau Report, India Today.
And I'd like to end this broadcast by showing you images of Congress leader and leader of the opposition in the Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, doing martial arts. It's a video that's now going viral. It was posted by the Congress and shows Rahul training for Jiu-Jitsu during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. Clearly part of his makeover effort and an attempt made to project an image of Rahul Gandhi which would potentially appeal to younger viewers. That's Rahul Gandhi, the first politician in recent memory who's doing martial art on camera and releasing videos. This from the Bharat Jodo Yatra.